Hey, it's John Shapiro, here we go. Knows the road rules better than most folks know. Ask your questions, bring the heat or keep it chill. He's got the answers and a license to spill. Ask a traffic cop, Sean's your guy. Breaking it down, no lie, no tie. Knows the stuff and things to keep you clear. Ask away, he's the voice you want to hear. Badge, now a podcast star, navigating traffic laws near and far. Stop sign confusions or a signal light feud. Sean's the one to give you the right attitude. Yeah, ask your traffic cop, Sean's your guy. Breaking it down, no lie, no tie. Knows the stuff and things to keep you clear. Ask away, he's the voice you want to hear. From this man. Ask a traffic cop, Sean's your guy. Breaking it down, no lie, no tie.
Okay, it's that time. We're doing it again. This is the Wednesday episode of Ask a Traffic Cop, that AM thing that happens at 10 a.m. Eastern on, well, now for the summer Wednesday mornings, because I'm going from every single day to 2 times a week, just because I got to get onto the road and film while the weather is helping me. So my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer who talks about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff. And my goal is to help you be safer on the road and also get fewer tickets. Because if you break the laws, whether you know them or not, you get tickets. And tickets, well, they sting, don't they? They're there to remind you not to break the law so that you, well, don't get charged for stuff. But it's all about changing behavior. It's not about making money. I know a lot of people say, oh, these tickets, they're just there to take money from the working man. That's not the goal. The goal is that you never get a ticket. There should be so few tickets written that the police have to set up a lemonade stand to make money. I don't know why people think it's all about money. It's not. And again, if you really want to stick it to the man, if you think it's all about money, the best way to do that is to not break the law, and then they'll have to, figure out something else to do with their time. I think that every copper out there would rather do something other than traffic enforcement. I loved it, but that's because I want to change driver behavior and make roads safer. Where does one little tiny bug is flying in front of my big screen, like my big light source? So it's one little dot. Just where? Anyway, it doesn't make sense. There's no food down here. There's nothing to eat. Why are you here? Anyway. I digress. I hope you're having a great day. I certainly am. The weather is supposed to be fantastic. And I just want to take a moment to thank the folks at Diamond and Diamond Lawyers. They are the magical people, our primary sponsor, who help support the show. But you know what? If you need stuff from a lawyer, they're the lawyers you call. Also, Barrett Legal, big help in doing what we do. They are part of Better Traffic. You know who else helps us? Turf and the Safe Roads Challenge is awesome. They do stuff and things. What are they doing? Well, they've partnered up with the Great Canadian Driving Games. That is something that you can get involved with and have a chance to win $100,000 cashola just for being a safe driver. How does it work? You install an app. It's really easy to do. If you go to askatrafficcop.ca, I'll show you where the links are. You install the app, you drive around. It doesn't tell your insurance company or the police a thing. What it does is anonymously report your driving style to the folks at TURF, the Traffic Injury Research Foundation. They use it to study what's going on our roads and help make, insights and educational determinations based on that data. It's awesome. It's about making roads safer. But because it records your information, it gives you a feedback as to what you're doing. Are you cornering too hard? Are you stopping too abruptly? Could you make changes to make it better? Well, it's going to give you that feedback and it's going to give you points and an opportunity to play some trivia games and stuff and things. And you can be entered, or you will be entered to have chances to win the $100,000. But you also have an opportunity to win about 250, or at least one of 250 gift cards that are being given out throughout the games. It's pretty cool. If you want to know more about that, there's an episode of Traffic Jam, which is a podcast also found on YouTube, all the other podcasting platforms, but you can go and get the most recent episode, which talks all about this at askatrafficcop.ca. Cool. I like it when buttons do stuff and things go movity. And yeah, let's see who's in here. Steve. Steve is here. How's it going, Steve? Steve. Now, if it's the Steve I think it is, your car, Steve, with the is it the McLaren that you have? Have I got the right Steve? Steve with AZ. I don't know if it's the same Steve. Oh, I'm so glad to hear you're doing well. He says, dude, a beard looks awesome, brother. Well, thank you very much. It is the right Steve. So Steve and I started off way back when. I say this because I was talking about tinting headlights, and he's like, just put brighter bulbs in and it'll compensate and you'll have the same output and it'll look cool and be legal. And I'm like, he probably has a point. That would work. It's not just the tinting, it's about the having the appropriate amount of visibility at 150 meters. That's what the code talks about. Steve's got great stuff. You should check out his channel. Steve with AZ, unless I'm missing some letters. I think that's the whole thing. Anyway, I got to reconnect with you and see how things are going. I've retired. Oh, we'll confirm that. Either way, I think that's what you said. That it was a great video you put up. Anyway, let's see here. We've got Melody. Melody won a gift. You won a gift card, Melody? I didn't know you won a gift card. Did you really? What was it? What did you choose? So Melody has been on the game playing and apparently won a gift card. That is phenomenal. I didn't know that. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Just a little message to let you know how this works. If you ask questions, I've got answers. If you don't, I'm going to talk about stuff that I want to talk about. So if you want to know stuff and things about Ontario traffic law, about policing in general, drop a comment and we'll talk about it. We are currently streaming on a number of platforms: X, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok. And today we're on Twitch. Why? Because Instagram is having a nap. Their live streaming didn't work last night. I talked to tech support and they said it ain't working. So, yeah. So Melody says they haven't chosen their gift card yet because they just won it the other day. So I've been playing this for a long time. I haven't won anything. Maybe it's because I'm helping promote them and they don't want to give me anything. I don't know. But Melody, who's not affiliated with the company in any way, well, they have one, which means anyone can win. And that's awesome. Anyone but me, apparently. Nelly's Firehouse Gaming wants to know if we can talk about a topic today. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. Let's bring up the topic, Nelly's Firehouse Gaming, and let's do it. Hot Dog Chick says, can I get arrested for not paying my taxes? You can get arrested for not filing your taxes. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, the fine folks at Barrett Legal are Barrett Tax Law. So if you have tax law questions, you should reach out to Barrett Tax Law, barretttaxlaw.com. And let's you know what? I have the technology. Look at this. If I go, I wonder if this will work. If I go into this window I just set up today, hey, look at that, careers. I wonder if I can also go to Barrett Tax Law. Tax, no, one more T. Did it work? Yeah, look at that, Barrett Tax Law. That, and he's got books. If you got information you need, go there. I'll put that back to TPS because we'll talk about careers and policing later. All right, scrolling back. Okay, Nelly's Firehouse Gaming wants to talk about volunteer fire department using the green strobe light. Is it not law? And then they got cut off. I want to know more. I will say, Nelly's, if you jump onto LinkedIn, you can type for days, lots of information. But yeah. Oh, okay. Here's the rest of the question. So I want to talk about volunteer fire department using the green strobe lights. Is it not law that people have to pull over for the green strobe? Oh, this is a fantastic question. And let's deal with the answer. Hang on, I'm going to put this down. I'm going to put it on the screen. Just cutting and pasting. Blah, 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 blah. Here we go. Also, while we're doing this, if you don't mind, please tap the screen till your fingers go numb if you're on TikTok, because it helps bring other people to the party. The more people who show up, the more questions get asked, and that just makes the show more interesting. It's a thing. Also, weather's supposed to be real nice today. Okay, so here's the deal. I'll leave that on the screen so we can talk about it, and people who are just tuning in will say, "Oh, I guess they're talking about that." It is not a legal requirement for you to pull over and get out of the way of someone who has their green flashing strobe. That is a courtesy light that says, I'm a volunteer firefighter or medic, because it's being expanded, and they're on their way to save the day in their own special way. So get the hell out of their way. Kindly, nicely, thank you. It does not require, there is no charge under the Highway Traffic Act for disobeying a green strobe light, because it's a courtesy light is the best way to describe it. It's asking people to get out of the way so they can go save the day. But if they don't, there's no enforcement of it. You're just a D-bag if you don't get out of the way, because that could be someone's house that's burning down while you're, lollygagging in the way. So that's the story. And Nellie that says it is a courtesy light, but it does. So just another thing, it doesn't allow you to go through red lights. It doesn't allow you to speed. It just says everyone should get out of your way. Hopefully that addresses it the way you were hoping and expected. Somebody on TikTok says, "Can you yell justice with your fist in the air?" Why? And Nellie's Firehouse Gaming follows up saying, "Yeah, it could be your own house that you're preventing firefighters from getting to." I think that the vast majority of folks who live in major metropolitan areas have no concept how fire works. Well, not only how fire works in terms of burning your stuff down, but how firefighting works. Because if you've lived in a major metropolitan area, you've had municipal fire departments, paid members of fire departments responding to your every need when it comes to response to collisions and emergency first aid. And they're awesome. They're there when you need them. They get there before the police and paramedics do, almost always. But what about the small communities who can't afford to have full-time firefighters on staff? Well, maybe they have 4 or 5 of them, but they don't have a full gamut. When you have a big fire or a major event, they're calling volunteers, members of the community who are trained and respond. They have green lights in their cars to get to the fire station, and then they have lights and sirens in the fire trucks that they're going to be driving to get to you. But it's a process, and it takes longer. So you've got to give them every opportunity to save a life, because it's seconds and they count. Okay. Nellie's Firehouse Gaming says, the quicker we can get to the fire, the better chance we can salvage your belongings. 100%. Bruv says, hey, it's been a minute, so I thought I'd say hello. Well, good to see you, Bruv. Good to see you. It's been a while. True. You know what? It's always interesting as seasons change, how behaviors change. Like, Bruv, you were in like every live stream for a long time. And then the weather gets nice and you're probably getting some sun and changing your habits. And as these habits change, especially as we approach the end of the school year for most jurisdictions, we're going to see more people out on the road, children going to camp, playing in playgrounds, hanging around. It changes things. And as drivers, you need to be aware of the fact that with those changes come new risks. During these school hours, you very rarely see a gaggle of kids milling about or crossing the street, unless they're skipping school, but that's another story. If you are expecting things to be the same, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. Okay, we've got Go Away Okay is in the house. How's it going? Random Records, hello. Terry McMeekin. Terry McMeekin. And then we've got Waga and Carl Freeman, hello. And Lucas Neville, what's going on? Yeah. Oh, and Akela Draconis is here. How are you doing, my friend? Are you feeling better? I hope you are. Yeah, he's been under the weather for a while. He has to go see. His computer is updating to Windows 11, so he hasn't prepared for his dad jokes. But you'll appreciate this mug. Yes, I am in the dad jokes. I have like 3 dad joke mugs now. It's hilarious. And for the folks who are on TikTok, please tap your fingers on the screen so your fingers go numb. It's a great way to support the show. It just helps more people get here, and the more people who are here, the more questions we'll get, the more interesting it gets. Not that it's not interesting already. I saw a movie. I went to see Lilo and Stitch in theaters. I didn't think they were going to be able to pull off a good video, a good movie. It was a great video, movie, film thing. It was fun. I was very impressed. And they had reclining seats, so I was really comfortable. Still kind of annoyed that I don't have popcorn, but that's all part of the game. See, I am down over 20 pounds since I left the job 275 days ago. 276, 275 was yesterday. So not that I'm counting. I just happened to have done the math yesterday. So I am feeling great, but I'm missing the popcorn. But you know what? Popcorn is fun, but it's not really fuel that I need. That's what I say when I'm trying to justify not eating the fabulous popcorn at movie theaters. It's the only popcorn that I really need or want. Regular popcorn is just blah, but movie popcorn, that's next tier. All right. Melody was on the fire department for a few years. It's a full-time, never off-duty volunteer job, 100%. And Nellie's still in that game. Oh no, Bruv, I'm sorry to hear that. Bruv says his dad has been very ill, so I've been extremely busy tending to him. Well, you know what? That is what happens. It's a cycle of life, and it's funny you say that. You bring up people being ill. I just found out that a friend of mine died. She died, my old boss, and I didn't find out to the day of the funeral, so I didn't even get to go and be there to show my respects or pay my respects. It's very sad. And then and God forbid, I really hope your dad is doing better soon. But it's just everyone's getting sick. I have another friend who's I'm going to visit on Friday in the hospital. He's got I think stage 4 lung cancer. I've been talking to him on Facebook, and you know, he was really supportive of the show and always jumping in and making comments. And I just found out he's in the ICU. Uh, we don't appreciate the people in our lives and don't make time for people until it's too late. It's really unfortunate. Like my friend who passed away, like very young, and she passed away. And you know, last time I saw her, oddly enough, was at somebody else's funeral, and we said we got to get together. It's been too long, and we both agreed, yeah, we're going to get together. We didn't get together. Now we're not going to get together, obviously. So you know, just a very off-topic sentiment that if you've got people that you care about, if you've got people that mean something to you, make time for them. Everything else can wait, but the time we spend with one another and showing each other that we care about one another is important. Like my buddy, my old partner, who recently retired, he's asked me a few times, can we get together and work on some stuff? He actually wants to help me get my motorcycle ready for sale. I'm going to sell my my Honda Valkyrie Interstate. And I've been busy and I keep putting it off. So now he's going out of town for a couple of weeks. When he gets back, we're going to get together. But you know, time flies when you're off busy. You know, what is it they say? Life happens when you're busy making other plans. But yeah. T wants to know what the craziest traffic stop is that I did. I don't know about crazy. I mean, I've had so many traffic stops that they all blend in together. I will tell you about one that was a little disappointing for me. And it's disappointing because the chap that I pulled over had an expired tag. And not expired. It was expired because he couldn't renew it because he had thousands of dollars of 407 bills, fines, or unpaid 407 charges. It may have been like, I don't know if it was 2,000 or 20,000, but it was a big number. And I said to him, "What are you doing? Your plates aren't valid." He says, "I got to get to work." I'm like, "I get it, but you can't break the law. You're not allowed to do it. I mean, you got to figure something out." And it's those kind of things that they're not crazy, but they're kind of shocking. And I think we're going to see a lot more of stuff like that, where people are going to break the law because they feel they have no other choice because they're busy trying to support their family, and they can't because of their money situation. And what is the money situation from? Well, you can thank so many people. Yeah, money's tight. A lot of people having financial issues. I'm working with a friend of mine, and he runs a summer camp. And the summer camp is seeing a reduction in the number of people who can afford to send their kids to summer camp. That's wild. Like I get it. It's a premium experience to be able to get someone to take care of your kids. And there's lots of cheaper opportunities. And not everybody has the fantastic, you know, setup that he has. But people who send their kids to different camps don't necessarily have the ability to pay that bill. So, we're discussing ways to try and give back to the community. He wants to create a program for people who have less available funds, make it time. So if you're in the GTA, if you're in the Toronto area specifically, and you have kids that need to go to camp, and you're looking for a camp, you should look at this camp. Let me know. DM me if you're looking for a camp for your kids. Smoggy, Burnhead. I hear. Smoggy, I can't see the rest of your name, but Smoggy said, apparently nobody turned off the alarm in my house until now. that was interesting. Nobody turned off the alarm, but they took the garbage out, I guarantee it. Okay. I'm like, what the heck is that sound? Okay. Crisis averted. Smoggy says, we are never promised tomorrow. Live like today is your last day. Yeah, I like that. Good. Excellent sentiment. Bruv says, and enjoyed your show, especially your thank you very much, bro. Okay. Manraj says, hi from Punjab, India. I've got a couple friends. There are police officers over there. Well, hello, and thank you for saying hey. Appreciate you. If you got questions about Canadian traffic laws, by all means, drop them in the chat. I got a dad joke from Bernhardt, who is a newly minted officer with the York Regional Police as a special. Good stuff. Okay, Waga has a question that you asked earlier, and they want to know what are the requirements for daytime running lights on cars? Well, this is a good question. So all new vehicles after a certain year, and the year is, I don't know what year it was, in order to sell it in Canada, had to have daytime running lights, but you are not required to maintain those daytime running lights. And Melody can confirm if you would you certify a car that didn't have daytime running lights? Because there's no ticket under the HTA for no non-functioning daytime running lights. Like if those lights don't work, we don't care, because it's not part of our inspection as police officers. That doesn't mean that you might fail inspection, but I don't think so. Just like third brake lights, the third brake light that was added by many, they have to work, Melody. Okay, so Melody the mechanic. I never said it like that. I don't think I ever said Melody the mechanic. I'm Eminem, not a rapper, but Eminem. Melody. I got to come up with a logo for you now. So Melody says that they have to work in order to pass inspection, but for police officers, I don't think we've ever given a ticket for it. There's no ticket for it that I'm aware of. Maybe somebody would say it's an unsafe motor vehicle because it doesn't have it, but I think that would be a stretch. Does that help, Waga? I hope it does. Shkowe OK says, are there any specific differences between Ontario and New Brunswick for driving? Probably. Let's see. I actually don't know the answer to that question, because I've never been asked that question. So let's see what we can find online. What are we going to say here? What are the... typing this into ChatGPT because there's nothing that's going to get me an answer faster. Comparative analysis is what's great for. Between, what did you say? New Brunswick. Let's see what it says, other than I have an update available. Okay, so they have levels. Ontario has G1, G2, G. They have level 1, level 2, and full. G1s must drive with a fully licensed driver. And New Brunswick says 0 alcohol, supervised driving only. Which is actually the same. G2 level says some driving solo, limited passengers. They have solo driving allowed, but night limits for new drivers under 21. I'd have to look further into that. That's interesting. Time to full license, 20 months in Ontario, 24 months in New Brunswick. That's something I've never seen before. How interesting. We should do this kind of comparative stuff more. This is kind of cool. Impaired driving penalties. for BAC, for a worn range suspension in Ontario, where you get the 0.1 to 0.49 is nothing, but 0.5 becomes a 3-day suspension for the first, if you do it once in 10 years. If you get another one within 10 years, it's escalating measures. But in New Brunswick, it says similar, but administrative penalties may vary. I don't know what that means because it didn't say. I didn't ask for verbose logging. 0 BAC for novice. That's for all 1, 2, and G1, G2 drivers. Cool. Distracted driving. Oh, this is interesting. Penalty for first offense in Ontario is $615 and a 3-day demerit point and 3-day suspension. However, in New Brunswick, it's $172.50 and 3 demerit points. So they're a few years behind us because we were at one point in a similar position. In terms of graduated penalties, if you continue to use distracted driving or break distracted driving laws in Ontario, you can see fines upwards of $1,000, but there is no increase. But the demerits, but they just keep applying demerits in New Brunswick. Interesting. 15 to 29 kilometers over is 3 points in both Ontario and New Brunswick. But in Ontario, 30 to 49 kilometers over is 4 points, but it's 5 points in New Brunswick. 50 over is 6 points and a possible stunt driving charge. It says possible stunt driving charge for Ontario, but for 50 over in New Brunswick, apparently they have different laws for stunt driving, or they don't have stunt driving laws. It says possible license suspension, as opposed to Ontario's, we take in your stuff. Let's see here. Winter tires are not mandatory in either. Daytime, oddly enough, daytime running lights. It says here, required on all new vehicles federally. So it's the same federal standard for both. Interesting. I don't see, let's see here. No, there's not much of a difference. Not much of a difference. I'm glad we went down that question. Okay. What do we got here? Daytime running lights are part of the MTO safety requirement. Yes, but I don't know if it would make it an unsafe motor vehicle classification. Like when you can't see out your window because there's tinted on your window over 30%, that is a clear situation where the vehicle is unsafe. Because it doesn't have daytime running lights, I don't know. It's funny. I would follow that guideline for certain charges, but I would kind of go for others. Because for us, for improper headlights, we're going to do it if there's one headlight when you require two, but not necessarily if there's no daytime runners. I've just never seen it. And there's so many cars that don't require them at all. So it's a technicality. There's a good point. If you have an old car, it doesn't need daytime running lights. Thus, why would I lay the charge if to someone who technically needs it? Just letting my buddy know that I cannot answer the phone. Nay, I am on the screen of screens. Yeah. Nellie's fire. Okay. Oh, Melody. Sorry, Waga's asking Melody what defines a daytime running light. Can fog lights count if they're always on? Interesting. I don't know. They're technically not the same thing, are they? I don't think they are. Oh, it says, okay, I'm not going to get into the back and forth, but it is an interesting conversation. Okay. Shkoe, okay, says, we head to New Brunswick in a week, so handy to know. Partner has a lead foot. Yeah, don't speed anywhere. That's just a bad idea. Based on manufacturer, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Hosted a late night and early morning, retired and still working. Love to see it. Cheers. That's from A, or is it yeah, but I was doing this 5 days a week, and I've taken a break. It's not a break to do less. It's a break to get out and do more. I want to record more on location content, and I need to be out of the house or out of the studio to do it. Come on, Melody. You said fog lights cannot always be on. There's a rule. Like you have to be able to turn them off, or you're not allowed to drive with them on. I'm so curious. This is stuff that I've never looked at. But, the mechanics perspective is fascinating. T wants to know if can cops choose to lay a citation at their own mercy, driving without insurance and stunt driving? What do you mean? Like, do police officers have discretion? Can they choose to write it or not write it? Yeah, like if a police officer observes something being done that's illegal, they can choose to write it or not write it. There's very few things that a police officer is mandatorily enforced. Like they must, you must charge someone. If you look at the criminal code, there are some that says that you shall do this, as opposed to an alternative road thingamabobber. What just happened? Stand by. I got. What do we got here? What is this? Stand by. I just got a message from the driving. Okay, let's claim these. I don't know. I got a message saying there's 2 hours left to claim something, but I don't know what the heck it's talking about. To complete your account, the settings so you can have the best. What? I've had a bunch of stuff happen with the yeah. Okay, sorry, squirrel. Ah. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. So T, I need more information about your question so I understand what you're actually asking. Okay. Melody explaining about the daytime running lights must operate continually when the engine is operating. P brake is released. Okay, good to know. Police vehicles often turn them off. They override for the purposes of observing, for stuff. I claimed 6 trips on Tuesday. I want to know what this is. What is my alert? I'm distracted. What is it asking for? I did everything. It was telling me I need to do something to complete my account. I have no idea what it wants. Save it. Stop bothering me. Okay. It says it was changed. Oh my goodness. All right. It was Sergeant Robitaille, I believe, who was messaging me about the stream, by saying, why aren't you on the stream? And it's because there's issues on the platform. But I can't see where he is. I don't know where it went. These notifications. These phones, I tell you. I don't know. All right. Let me close this window. I want to talk to you about becoming a member of the police service. In particular, the Toronto Police Service. If you are interested in a job in policing, well, you should be looking at it now. It's the best time to become a cop. And I say that because police services across North America, the world over, need cops. There's just not enough people who are interested in getting out there, putting their lives at risk, serving the community, because everyone wants a key to the executive at Washroom and be a crypto king. So if you want to actually go and make a difference in your community, go visit the website of your local police service. In my case, the Toronto Police Service. And if you're in the GTA, or if you want to just work for the biggest and the best, this is where you go. www.tps.ca/careers. And you can go online and read all about the job. You can learn about becoming a police constable. You can hit the apply. I'm at wrong way. Apply now. Yeah. Hit the button and go apply. Now, obviously, read stuff and things before you do, because there's tons of information that you need to know. So you don't end up being asked a question and you go, I don't know. Or even worse, you ask a question and they say, didn't you read it on the website? It's all posted. You don't want to look like an idiot. Don't look like an idiot. Read stuff before you go. Special constable, if they're hiring right now, great position. It's how I started. It was called court officer back then, but great position. Parking enforcement officer, and you can work with officers like Aaron. Aaron is is TPS_Bikehart, the parking guru. Comms operators, yeah, those are awesome folks who answer the phone and direct police officer to go help you, officers. Volunteers, auxiliary officer. That's how I started before I even became a court officer. Let's have a look at the civilian roles page. Curious to know what they have available. 2 jobs: job evaluation consultant and communications operator. Okay, I don't know what that is, but I do know what this is. And if you are looking for an amazing job that has a starting wage of $77,846, and if you had experience or qualifications, you might be qualified for the higher pay rate of $102,276. That's how I interpret that slide. But yeah, what a great way to work and contribute. You don't have to go out on the road and be at risk. There's different risks involved. It's a tough job, but it's a rewarding job. If you got questions about becoming a police officer, let me know. All right. Go away. Okay, says you're en route for a ticket for distracted streaming. You are right there. Well, these alerts, they hit me by the corner of my eye. I totally get it why people are tempted, but I'm not operating a motor vehicle. I'm just temporarily ignoring you while I go, what's going on here? Yeah. A wants to know if officers choose to handcuff the person in front can officers choose to handcuff the person in front opposed to behind their back practice? Well, it's an officer safety situation, so you put their hands behind their back unless there was some reason where they couldn't physically do it. And generally speaking, even if they were, let's say, too big or not flexible enough to go to the back, you still wouldn't put it to the front. You would just add an extra link of an extra handcuff to give them to accommodate for the lack of flexibility. It would be an officer safety risk to put the handcuffs in the front. Have I seen it done? Sure. Could they be documented or questioned for it? Sure. If it went south, if things went badly, and they had the handcuffs to the front, would they be liable and in trouble for it? Oh yeah. It's just a bad deal. Not a good idea. You have a lot more control when your hands are in front of you for fighting, for doing a lot of things. So I've never handcuffed. Have I ever? I've handcuffed a one-armed person to their belt. I've made arguments why one person who is not a threat because they were being arrested, but they were not capable of they were not a concern. I chose in a handful of times not to handcuff someone at all. But handcuffing to the front, I don't suggest. I'm not a use of force instructor. I can't speak to all the reasons why it's a horrible idea, but I know it's a horrible idea. If that makes any sense at all. Okay. Just a little reminder. I have to thank the fabulous people at Diamond and Diamond Lawyers. Not that I have to. I want to thank them. They help support better traffic safety and education through their generous support. If it wasn't for them, paying for stuff like the software subscriptions and all the things I need to keep this show going would be more difficult. So I appreciate them. And if you are interested, if you're a company and you want to help support us, we would love the support. You can get to us by going to bettertraffic.ca, or you can even make donations at the askatrafficcop.ca website. It is a not-for-profit federal corporation. It is not, paying for my Starbucks. It's about creating plans and programs that we can go across Canada and share information to make roads safer, to educate students. I just did some presentations for the Toronto, for the do I want to name the base? I don't think I'm going to name the base, but the Canadian Armed Forces. I speak to their new drivers, and they are awesome. These are people who are out representing the Canadian Armed Forces in big green trucks. They need to know stuff and things, and I help to deliver those discussions, those lectures. All right, we got Clint and Daggy and Canadian Starboy and Iwazaru. I have to think. And Toaster Media. What's going on? All right. Oh, so T wants to know about, they were talking about laying a citation, driving without, giving mercy. You're asking about discretion. That's exactly what I was answering when I first answered. So they wanted to clarify, like, they meant their own discretion. For example, if I was a driver and they committed an offense, could an officer choose to use discretion? In some situations, yes. So I think I did cover your answer. But if you have something very specific, like if you're driving without insurance, I don't care what your reason is. You're going to get charged, and you're not driving away. It's going to get towed at your expense, because you can't break the law, and discretion doesn't cover. Doesn't cover. I mean, could they choose not to lay the charge? It could. Would that be a good thing? No. Does that serve the public interest? No. Okay. Oh, okay. Is that a dog? Is that a fox? I don't know what emoji this is, but it's an animal of some kind. What program would you recommend for policing? I'm in criminology at the moment with TMU, but want to switch to Durham College Police Foundations. What do you think is best to get accepted into policing? Criminology, 100% over Police Foundations. Police Foundations is a sort of basic course to get you into the stream, but it doesn't guarantee you a job. A criminologist is far more valuable, unless you're failing. If you're not doing well, then you are better to go to something you're going to get better grades at than just scraping by as a criminologist. So if you're not doing well and you want to switch for that reason, or you hate it, find something you do like. But police foundations is something to buy time. It doesn't create police officers. Do you know what I mean? You can be a security guard after you do police foundations. You can go apply anywhere, but police officers are going, or police agencies are going to train you to be a cop. What are you going to learn? Everything that you're going to learn once, like the police college teaches you what you need. Police foundations is a way to get a certificate without going to other schools. That's all. I had a Pelican case that slid over to my green screen. Like, I think I know why that. Anyway, I put 2 and 2 together from something that happened an hour ago. It just clued in now. Toaster Media says, looking online, the laws aren't very clear. What is the legal age to have one drink and drive? 21 or 22? 22. It is 22. You have to be over the age of 21. It is 22 and above in order to have, and a full G license before the zero BAC law doesn't apply. And Toaster Media, by saying that the laws aren't very clear, you are basically justifying why I'm here. It is very difficult to get a straight answer about anything online because there's so many conflicting interpretations and websites that are self-serving. Like if you go to a tint shop and you ask what's legal, they'll tell you whatever that you want to buy is just fine, but they are not giving you information that is unbiased. They're giving you information that is, well, suited to their needs of selling you and taking your money. Okay. We got hello. And Police Foundation, yes, and Navid, is it Navid? Says Police Foundations is not needed. It is not. And I've spoken, I've lectured at police foundations. And I've met some really great students who've gone on to become police officers. And I've met a lot who are just spending money and waiting. I've always said this. Go take accounting. Go take auto mechanics. Like take anything that makes you a better applicant, who gives you something that gives you better experience that you can share, better knowledge, making you as an applicant a unique applicant. What looks better? 50 people who came out of the same Durham College or whatever it's called, Police Foundations course, all applying for the same position, or 49 who did that, and one person who is a mechanic and can identify a modified vehicle and what's legal or not. The mechanic is way more interesting to me if I was recruiting, because everybody else that is coming out of that foundations course is going to have to be retrained to meet the standards that are current, and not, they may not be, anyway. Luton says, I have Police Foundations diploma and Advanced Police Studies diploma, and I'm working on my credit. I commend you for it. I hope it works for you. I went back to school and got my Police Foundations leadership diploma 6 months. Like I did it because it was something to do, to put a piece of paper, and it was an accelerated course, and it's fine. It didn't change the course of my life, but I have it. Does GPA matter when applying to become a police officer? It's a competitive process and everything. If you're a student who's barely passing, but you passed, did you pass? Yes. Why didn't you get 90s instead of, why did you get 50s? Suggests that you're either not motivated or there's a problem with your learning style, and you're about to get into a profession that is all about learning, like continual learning. If you're not, like, ultimately, when we say, when you go to university, when you go to become a doctor, you go to med school and you graduate with a perfect score of 100% or a passing mark, what do they call you? What's the difference in what they call you? They call you a doctor regardless. So at the end of the day, you may not be the best doctor, but you're still a doctor. Well, the same is going to apply when you graduate the police college, as long as you pass the minimum. And I believe it's 70 or 75% to pass. It's not 51% and you're a cop. It's a higher standard. However, getting in, they want to see people who are excelling. I didn't have the best marks. I wasn't a perfect student, but I wasn't interested in the stuff I was studying. I wanted to be a cop, not a math. I didn't have the experience to give myself the advice as a teenager, as a young person, that I'm giving today, as someone who's been around the block. So, I can tell you that the deal is the best marks are going to score heavily, because they don't have a way of judging you. So they're going to say, okay, here's 2 people. I've got 1 spot and there's 2 people, and this person had better grades in high school. Maybe they take that and you lose out because they had better grades. Maybe not. Maybe they say, well, your high school sucked, but I see here in college you did really well. We're going to give the person who like, I'm not a recruiter. I'm speculating a lot of this. Luton says at OPC, rule 1, don't bang. Rule 2, don't bang each other. What is this? Rule 1, don't bang. Rule 2, don't bang each other. It's amazing how easily distracted people are, and that when you put people in a position where they're either bored or stressed, but they're in close quarters, there's a lot of romance. There's a lot of romance that went that in one place. Navid, which one said not true? What is not true? What is Navid saying is not true? Oh, are you saying that the Lutons don't bang each other rule is not true? Melody says my job is always learning job. Oh, is an always learning job. Constant training. License exam is 70% minimum to pass. Oh, Navid. Okay, it's amazing how many breakup. Have you ever heard of the breakup bench? I'm about to give you some behind the scenes stuff about the Ontario Police College. There's a bench out front, and they call it the breakup bench because there are relationships that develop while people are from across Ontario coming to the police college for the period of time that they're at the OPC. And then on the last week, everyone's breaking up, and it seems to always happen at that bench where they do the gee whiz, it was nice knowing you, but bye-bye. Like, it's just terrible. It's terrible. I watched all sorts of drama unfold at that bench and other places throughout the OPC when I was there many years ago. But apparently nothing has changed. So Grayson wants to know if cops in Ontario can take their guns home. They can. Yes, absolutely. What? David says they're building a new OPC. Ford has pledged $1 billion. What? For a new college? For real? What's wrong with the old college? We can't fill the old college. Why do we need a bigger one or a newer one? What is it? I mean, listen, if it's going to be more advanced, if it's going to make magic. David says desperately need it. Really? I don't know. I went to the OPC a couple of times for advanced courses. It was the same. What was it? What do they need? What do they need more? Oh, Navid said it's a 1950s prison. Okay, it doesn't have the warm and fuzzies, but it works. It wasn't a prison. I thought it was an area. It was a military base. I thought it was a military base. Was it a prison? I got to go do some history. Hopeless Carino, I think I pronounced that right, says, have you ever seen a firearms license get reinstated after being revoked for mental health reasons? They say you can, but I doubt it. Blacklist. I have no idea. I've never had that situation. Federal prison? Are you sure? I guess you are because you're saying it. But they have the airplane out front. I thought it was an airstrip originally. Let's look it up. History of the Ontario Police College. Okay. Let's go to the Wikipedia. Okay. The Attorney General appointed an advisory committee on police training in 1959. The police college was established in 1962 and offered its first class beginning in January 7th, 63. The college is built on the grounds of former Royal Canadian Air Force Station Elmer, which was constructed as part of the British Commonwealth Air Training Program during World War II. The college moved to its present facilities in 1976. The Ministry of Solicitor General became responsible for the operations in 1972. But where does it say the original building was a jail? I don't see anything. There's no reference to that. I want to know more. I wonder if hang on. Let's see. Search one more thing. One more source of information. The Ontario Police College. What was there before? And was it ever jail? Let's see what deep thinking can do. What? No. World War II, RCAF Elmer Station. It trained aeronautical and wireless personnel, pilots, and support staff, including a prisoner of war camp during World War II. A portion of the site was used as a prisoner of war camp housing German prisoners of war. Come on. How did I not know this? And how do I know this is true? It was one of several such camps across Canada, and it held mostly captured military personnel. Many of those prisoners were repatriated or chose to stay in Canada. So apparently it was only, well, if ChatGPT is accurate, it was a POW camp, but it was not a jail or correctional facility and was never used to house Canadian criminal inmates. The camp was military operated and temporary in nature. Interesting. I'd love to know more. I got to do more. Let's see here. It's a 19. Okay. But it says nay. If you can send me to a website, I'd love to know more. I've got some friends who are teaching there. I'll ask them to give me the stuff, the info. Chase P says good morrow, and he loves the hat. Do you like the glasses? I like the glasses and the hat. Thank you. I appreciate it. Do you remember the video when I had this made? Also, Chase, when are we going for chicken? It's been a while. Oh, we got a quote from Michaela. No jokes yet, but got a quote. Very good. We're at 51 minutes, so we got about 10 minutes left. All right, we've got... Okay. Can you only get into the Ontario Police College if you're accepted as a police officer? Website is so in the United States, like my cousin's in Michigan, and is he a captain now or a lieutenant? Anyway, he's a ranking officer at his police service, and when he was becoming a police officer, went to the college. They went to academy, and you just go to academy and you pay for your own ticket, and you graduate academy, and then you apply for jobs. That's how it works in Michigan. In Ontario, you can only attend the police college if you are sponsored and paid for by a police agency. So you have to be hired with a conditional offer. You have to get an offer. You have to be a cadet in training employed by a police service to go there. There's no other way to go. Now, the cool thing right now is that it's free. When I went there, you had to pay for it, whether it was $7 or $15 or however many $1,000. Now I think it's $17,000. But the Ontario government is picking up the tab. So if you consider it a signing bonus, it's a brilliant way to get people to get in, because it was, paying off a $10,000 to $20,000 bill to become a police officer sucks, but they did it because people were getting the education and then buggering off. What do we have here? Luton wants to know, would I advise to start as a cadet, then go through sworn? I have my panel interview tomorrow with Halton. I say I would try go sworn first. I mean, if they'll take you. If they don't take you, go cadet, because getting in is getting in. Thanks for the follow, Luton. Dadu Dog says, have you ever heard of Freedom Warrior? No, I have not. I don't think I have. It's an 86 says, just curious if it's true that your plates can get pulled if your tint is too dark. Yes, it is. If you have an unsafe motor vehicle, police can secure or seize your plates, returning them to the ministry, requiring you to get a new safety inspection. So if you have it's not just tint, it's any major defect, and they've got to be able to prevent you from driving. So they seize the plates because your vehicle is not safe for the road. Luton says, my dream is to work SIU. Do I need to be a cop for many years? You're talking about the Civilian Oversight Investigation Unit, the SIU. I'll put them on screen here. I don't even know if you have to be. I should type that correctly. SIU, Special Investigations Unit. So this is a civilian thing. It's like retired cops do it, not regular cops. So if you want to work SIU, which is the agency that investigates police, it's here, careers. Let's see. Investigator. So they've got job postings, but I don't think you have to be a cop. I don't think that you've ever had to be a cop. But if you want to be disliked by all cops, join the SIU. I don't see qualifications here, do I? Yeah, check it out. I don't think you have to be a cop to do it. I think they have civilians that have never been police officers doing it. What is the difficulty in doing OACP test? I don't know. Like the to get in to become a police officer, the basic, or to graduate, because there's a lot of learning that goes on, and it's totally different. If you're talking about what does it take to get in the OACP, it's like grade 7, grade 8 level stuff. It's not terribly difficult. I mean, well, maybe the math is grade 7, grade 8. I don't know. I didn't have any problem with it. I obviously passed it. If I passed it, it must be okay. No, I'm kidding around. I don't know what it is today. There's lots of study guides. There's a police prep book that was available back in the day. I'm sure it's still available now. But check out the site. Check out what is it? It's of course I just closed the window. Let's open a window again. And OACP. OACP certificate testing. Will it be useful for me? Oh, look, it's showing the wrong window. Hang on a second. That's what you look like to me. Here we go. So, is there anything useful here? I don't think they have a lot of the process. Yeah, go check out oacpcertificate.ca. Bringing back all sorts of memories. All right. When am I coming over for patch? We have to get together, Akil. It's been too long. But are you feeling better? We'll chat in Telegram after. It's 57 minutes. I got to fly really close to the hour. What do you recommend for the police prep books? I have not purchased a book on this topic in a very long time, so I don't know what's currently available. I had purchased police prep. I think I went to policeprep.com back in the day. They had an app. Let's see. It's a Canadian. Oh, actually, I think I met the dude who made this site. Policeprep. Yeah, it is the same company. I met this guy at a couple of events when I was an auxiliary officer, and he gave me his card, and I went, and they're really good. Like if you fail after you do this test, like they'll let you retest using it. Like the idea is that you actually do similar tests so you understand the testing. I should give him a call. I'm sure I have his business card somewhere, and then we can discuss this online, do a recruiting thing. I think this is a great way to help people get in. So you've just given me a great idea. I'm gonna reach out to them and say I want to have you on the podcast. I want to talk about police recruiting and how your website or their website helps. Okay. What a good idea. Policeprep.com. Are you allowed to drive a vehicle that you're not insured on? The vehicle must be insured, and if you don't live with the registered owner, it's really not an issue. I like that Hijun has the answer for that one. Yeah, the deal is that you if you live in the home with the registered owner, then it seems to be that you according to the insurance companies, you need to be a occasional driver. But can I loan my cousin my vehicle that's insured and they're licensed? Yeah, I can. Police don't care if you live with them, if you don't live with them, if you have personal insurance or not. That's nothing to do with them. It's about being a licensed driver on an insured vehicle that you have proof of everything. That's what's important. All right, I got to wrap it up, but I want to do the dad jokes. So here we're doing a dad joke, and then we've got a quote. I don't think any other dad jokes. CIF 87 says, if I go 5 to 10 over the speed limit on the highway, is that a ticket? It's a ticket if the officer wants to give you the ticket. It's called speeding. You're not allowed to go over the speed limit. It's a limit, not a suggestion or a minimum. So yeah, if you're doing 5 to 10 over and an officer decided to pull you over and charge you for it, it would absolutely be a legitimate ticket to charge you for that speed. Here's the difference. 5 to 10 over on the highway. Well, you're saying highway, and I'm sure you mean expressway. Chances are you're not getting that ticket because there's so many people going way, way, way faster. If you did 5 to 10 over in a 30, the percentage over the speed limit is dramatic in that context. So I'd give you a ticket for 5 to 10 over in a 30 because that's really terrible. 30, do the math. Okay. I'll be back now. Just a reminder, we're on summer hours, so I'll be out and about and doing some stuff, and I might go live on location on one platform or another now and again on days that I'm not scheduled to go live, like what today is. Hey, Emma. And then when we have a what's the story? When I'm doing lives where I'm sitting for 1 to 2 hours, like last night I was on for 2 hours at 10 p.m. till midnight, and that is a scheduled live. So Tuesdays at 9 p.m. That's the regular schedule. And then you've got what do you got? Then you got the Wednesdays at 10 a.m. And the reason I kept Wednesdays early, because I got to tell you, the late night lives are way busier, and it's great. But the reason I'm still here in the daytime is because I go live with Jerry Yeager on a regular basis, and I need to be here for him. That's what I need to be. I need to be around so that on Wednesdays in the AM, because that's when his show is. All right, we got. I'm going to do this again. Oh, look, now it's showing. How weird is that? I just want. Here we go. Okay, I guess it showed my whole screen. This is the Ask a Traffic Cop website, and as you can see, it says here Tuesday, June 10th, 10 a.m. Why is that wrong? Why does it say Tuesday? Oh, because it is It is not 10 p.m. It should be 9 p.m. Okay, so it's factoring in that I have some automated stuff, and it should say 9 p.m. But I guess because I changed today's show, anyway, I have to update the HTML. This is the website, and if you go to the schedule, oops, I done screwed that up. If you go to the schedule, resources, show schedule, you can see that this is the schedule for the upcoming situation. And look at that. It says 9 p.m. here. It's only the HTML on the index page that's wrong. I'm glad we saw that. In any case, what are you doing on Saturday, June 7th? That's this Saturday coming up. I'm going to be at 43 Division for their open house. It's located at 4331 Lawrence Avenue East in the city of Toronto from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. If you want to come hang out, talk traffic and stuff, I'll be there. I'll probably be doing some streaming that day. Come by and say hello. I'm going to be next to the Right Track Racing booth. They are the magical. They're Right Track Racing. Look at this. Look at this. I go. Is it under sponsors? No. What is it under? I designed the website. Can I remember what it is? Partners. Why is that showing up? There's a website. There's something going on here. There's partners, because it should have turf. I have to go work on the website. I have something to do now. I got to go fix the website. It's broken. Maybe no. Where is it? Anyway, it's annoying. Web development is not my forte, but I am making a go of it anyway. So here we go. Woodell Engineering says, morning to you. Bernhard, let me know. I'm not far away from you. So yeah. Oh, you're doing 3 blocks with a training officer. Yeah, let me know. And June-ish, end of June-ish, absolutely. And Emma says, hey, I hope you have the best Wednesday. I have the best of every day. That's the goal anyway. I hope that all y'all have a great day. In the meantime, what's the dad joke from Bernhard? Did you hear it's against the law to laugh loudly in Hawaii? They only permit wrong button. They only permit aloha. No loud laughing. Only aloha. Paying attention? That was a funny one. I don't know if you laughed or not, but I liked it. Let's see here. We've got a quote from Michaela. As I walked out the door toward the gate that would lead to my freedom, I knew if I didn't leave my bitterness and hatred behind, I'd still be in prison. Nelson Mandela. Very cool. I have a friend of mine who is in a photo with Nelson Mandela. Like he was a baby, a child being held by him. It could have been anybody, but he says it was him. Anyway, that's it. That's all. I'll be back on Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Tuesday being next week. But in the meantime, please like, follow, subscribe, and please go to YouTube and follow us there. Trying to get to 1,000 followers. I will be posting content as per usual, actually more frequently than ever, as we start going to intersections where drivers do dumb stuff. Talk to you soon. Be safe out there. Wrong song. Hang on a second. Wrong song. Right song. Wrong starting. See you later. Are you not hearing the song? What's going on here? Are you not hearing the song? What's going on here? Are you not hearing the song? What's going on here? Why is that not working? Why is that not working? Why is that not working? And why do we have an echo loop? Oh, I have a loop because I'm listening to it. And why do we have an echo loop? Oh, I have a loop because I'm listening to it. And why do we have an echo loop? Oh, I have a loop because I'm listening to it. This is terrible. This sounds terrible. This is terrible. This sounds terrible. This is terrible. This sounds terrible. This sounds terrible. I'm listening to music. It sounds okay. Has this been going on the whole thing? No one told me. So weird. I'm listening to music. It sounds okay. Typical IT answer. Did you try logging off and logging back in? What in the hell? I don't know what's going on. Okay, I got to do some detective work. Have a great day as I figure out what's screwed up on my computer. Yay. Okay, I got to do some detective work. Have a great day as I figure out what's screwed up on my computer.